What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and welcome back to the Fanhome build of the USS Enterprise 1701D. We're going to be building stages 13 and 14 and finishing off package 4. And I'm going to give you a couple thoughts on just, this build as I've been going along. I've been really appreciating and having a lot of fun with this one. So this morning I've done a little bit of work on both models, so to say. Well, I'll be working on this one, and I was doing some work on the Millennium Falcon, just trying to see if I can get things to fit together better, and been successful, but man, has it been jank. So anyway, let's go ahead and unpackage stage 13 here. So we have our superstructure piece as usual. Let's make some noise. All right, nice. And once again, the high quality of this is just fantastic. I love the quality. Looks like here, sorry, Mr. Com Badge, not quite badgy levels crazy, but we have a reflector piece and our DP screws, which we haven't seen in a little while. These are a little bit bigger of a screw. And what I'm starting to get an understanding for is that the higher I'm just going to stop talking. I don't actually know. So this is the reflector piece that goes inside of the impulse engine. And it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how this works. We're going to be setting this aside for stage 14. So we got our DP screws here. And so I believe we have them, but just in case, I did transfer over all the screws and everything over into the new screw box. And here, coming soon, I'll show you all the little goodies so far that they give me in all the magazines. And you're gonna need a content fill, I think, for 1 week. So let's hope not, but they've been a little delayed at Fanhome getting everything. So we have here the main impulse engine, which is pretty cool. We're going to be lighting this up today, which is really awesome. Okay. And then we have some BM screws. The trusty BM screws that we've seen 1,000 times so far. So let me grab my scissors. Yeah, for the thoughts on all of this, this has just been a lot more fun to build than the Millennium Falcon. Just because I know that, and of course, grabbing the last card here, just because I know that everything's going to fit and work, and so I'm able to not sit here and criticize and scrutinize and all of those things. And so, yeah, it's really nice being able to just grab this piece here and know that I could bend it if I wanted to, but I don't think that I'm breaking this. It feels like there's a powder coat on it. The other one just felt like cheap metal, if I'm being real, on the Millennium Falcon. So we're going to start with more of the framework. So we're going to take this set aside. We are going to be bringing back the front of the saucer. I'm going to go ahead and move the com badge up here a little bit. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is, in this stage, we're actually going to see the saucer start sweeping back on itself, which is really, really cool. So this piece is going to be going in right here. And just make sure I got my positioning right, which I do not. Am I reading that right? This is 09A. There we go. It goes just like that, Jordan. Boy. It is early in the morning. Doing some early morning recording so I can actually get some things done today. I'm not waiting till the last moment like I have been for the last little bit. So let me get my screws into place. But my brain is also barely functioning. So there's that. Yeah, saucer is definitely you can tell exactly what's going on here. I really appreciate the fact that we get to see the shape of the saucer come together, and it makes total sense. And I kind of alluded to it in the last video. As we're building this, I think it was in the second package, we built it was in the section where I actually took pictures instead of actually did video of it. but we built a hull plating section. I'm like, oh, cool. So where do we affix this to after we're done? And there was nowhere to put it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now it's just kind of sitting in a box. It makes sense that we are actually going through here and completing the top part of the saucer framework before we start building those pieces and affixing them into place, because once you have them, they're kind of fragile, and so I actually kind of get it. It's actually kind of nice that I was able to get some understanding on that one. Yeah, because I was like really looking forward to building more of that, but it makes total sense. As with anything, you want to start with the foundations of where you're going, and so yeah, building the superstructure, the frame for the Enterprise is pretty cool. So there we go, and you can kind of see, yeah, we're sweeping back on ourselves here. The next stage 14, we're going to be taking care of this side. So let's go ahead and move on for a little bit. I have a feeling I'm going to be looking at that piece for a little while, actually, now that I'm holding on to it. Yeah, so now what we're going to do is I went ahead and just left the circuit board plugged in. I'm realizing that I don't need to separate these wires as much. I'm going to be a little bit more careful about that. I am a huge fan of cable management, and I've been looking at this for a little while going, when we are routing everything, there's going to be a lot of little cable ties and all of that, stuff like that. I wanted to keep it really nice, keep it secure, and in order to do that, having these LED wires not separated out like this in a big mess is going to be a thing that I focus on going forward. Also, as well, it's going to be calling for us to test the impulse engine at the end of stage 14, and it wants us just to test the impulse engine without all of the other lights. But for some reason or another, they left us just the one little block here where we can plug in the impulse engine and everything else. And so that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and take the impulse engine here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. And it looks like this slots right into place, just like, does it go in just like that? Let's take a look here to make sure that I'm not putting it in the wrong spot. Oh, and I'm going to go back to quality. I'm just going to keep harping on it. This fit right into place. This was a plastic on plastic piece. It was difficult to get into place only from the sake of trying to understand of how it slotted in, but that is flush. It's not flush, but it is slightly recessed back as you would expect it to be. And when it went into place, it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Like, super high quality. I cannot emphasize enough the quality levels of this. This is just so much better. So much better, and this is why I'm having so much more fun building this model this month. I'm imagining that there's going to be parts of the Millennium Falcon that's not going to be as crazy to build, but I'm also right now focusing on screwing in very slowly, paying attention to how much I'm tightening this down. Do not want to crack that piece at all. But I can imagine that there's going to be parts of the Millennium Falcon that, will be fun to build eventually. But the fine detail of the cockpit, I personally would have, I don't know what I would have done better there. Like this morning when I was going through and I glued some pieces down, and the glue I used I was trying to be a little gentle with the glue. So I used a light modeling glue and not a cement or anything like that, and it definitely didn't work. So we're going big boy strength, and so and after I get done recording this, I'm going to take a look and see what sort of glue I should use. Yeah, I just kind of feel a little strange about, the lack of strength and all of that. Like I did get the yokes to stick into place. And so, okay, so that's actually stage 13 done. Like nice, quick, easy. We move on to stage 14, but as you can see here, we have the beginnings of almost a complete piece. It's pretty awesome. We're going to be putting in the LED and the reflectors in there here into the next step, or into the next stage. So we will be right back. All right, we are back with stage 14, and we are going to be finishing up the rest of this fourth shipment. And like I said in the previous stage, I've just really enjoyed building this month. Working with the Millennium Falcon has been difficult. It's going to be rewarding, I'm sure, when it's all done. But I imagine that it's going to be a lot more work than this one. This is going to be a little bit more fun for me to build, and I'm definitely enjoying it. And I'm looking forward to, I'm really looking forward to seeing what we got coming up next here in the next, should be, oh goodness me, probably getting it right around Thanksgiving. And so, yeah, that actually would make for a really fun weekend. Hopefully I get it then, but we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and pull this out. And first up, what we have is the LED for the impulse engine. And this is the first time that we've seen a different sort of LED setup in this build. It's pretty cool. We got 4 lights, and I'm curious if the light pulses a little bit, just because we have a bit of a circuit board here. Kind of curious. All right, this packaging is probably the first piece of, like, I don't know, haphazard packaging that we've gotten. So we have our BM screws here. So let's just go ahead, and we know what these ones do. In the previous stage, the DP screws, they were the first time that we had seen those screws. So kind of interesting. This one is actually going to be a 3-screw setup as well on this stage. All right, so we have our frame piece, which is pretty much almost identical to the previous one in stage 13. So let's just go ahead and get this one out. Nice. At the end of these projects, my trash always gets so full. It's kind of unreal. So set this off to the side. Here we have the reflector piece and 2 different sets of screws. One screw, we're only going to be using one in. There's only 2 screws in there, one backup, one. Oh, there's a tiny little clear reflector piece in there. Oh, how interesting. I was like, what is this? Okay, I'm going to set this off to the side. Slow down, Jordan. Oh, I believe that's going to go into here, which is also one of those reflector pieces. Cool. Yeah, super high quality. Then we have our CP screws. To finish my thought, there is I think it's the BP screws. We're only going to be using one of those screws, and so I'm going to put the CP back there, and then the BP up front. Mark those here, there. Oh, one of them fell out. Glad I saw it. This surface, I love it for how cleanable it is, but it is difficult to see some things sometimes on here. And it picks up everything. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this little piece out and set it on top right here. And then we got our card. I'm going to set that off to the side. Okay, so now let's get ourselves ready. We're going to start like in stage 14 or stage 13, excuse me. We're going to start with putting the frame on. So let's go ahead and get started with that. It's going to affix itself right in the place right there. Oh, there we get our screwdriver. Going to drop our screws into their holes. I'm going to go ahead and get all 4 of these into place so it's a little bit quicker. I have been getting quicker at building this model as well, which is both awesome for me, but You know, well, actually, probably great for you guys as well too. Like, I'm not out here like struggling through some of these builds. Yeah, so probably not a bad thing. Learn some techniques for doing these models. So what's interesting is, as we've been building this superstructure too, is that as we've been completing sections, they've been giving us these little connection points, that I'm screwing into right now, for instance. And they've been having us go into the end here. That's not happening here. And curious about that, actually. I wonder if we're going to start with the next stage is going to be starting to put some things into place, which would be really cool. But let's go in the proper spot. I'm wondering if this piece right here is going to be just one big frame piece. I don't know. I'm going to stop speculating on things because I really don't know. But I do imagine that we can start getting some hull sections put on, which would be super cool. All right, so yeah, there it is. Like, it's kind of hard to see. Like, I'm gonna have to get to the point now. Like, I've been really thinking about like the future of these builds and how I'm eventually I'm building the saucer, for instance. Like, I can't probably get this entire thing into the one shot. I've been looking at multi-camera. I'm looking at getting a bigger table that I can record on. I got plenty of space in the apartment, so it's really not that big of a deal. But it is something that I'm definitely thinking about. My desk is small, and the space that I have to record in is also pretty small. And so, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about that because, like, right now, once again, like, part of the frame is sitting underneath. So, as you can see here, like, you can definitely tell what we're building. Like, this is the saucer, and from underneath, yeah, it's super cool. I'm gonna look at this piece and fantasize, and I guarantee you, off camera, I'm gonna test fit that one piece again and get it on here. So yeah, so let's go ahead and set that off to the side. And then the exciting part for the episode, because we've been doing a lot of framework over these last couple episodes, the exciting piece for me is going to be building the rest of this, the neck of the star drive section. So, okay. So we're going to take the main impulse engine reflector and slot. So I just want to make sure that I got my parts right here. Isn't that the thin piece? Yes, it is. So that is going to go into here. So, how interesting. So this literally just goes right into here. If I can do this correctly. Just like so. And all that is a solid reflector piece. And then that is going to go right inside here. Clicks right in like a cassette. That was awesome. And now we're going to take the reflector piece here, and then we're going to take the screw hole is going to be on this side, and we're going to affix that into place just like this. Now, oh, well, Jordan. I'm like, nah, that's not working right. I'm a dumb. So, there we go. It was upside down. Well, yeah, it's, let's fully inspect pieces before we make assumptions. Here we can, because it's sitting in this tab that I didn't see on the other side. Genius. Capital J. There we go. Okay. And because this is a board, I'm going to be very careful screwing this into place. starting to bite. Do not want to crack the board. That's in place. Well, there you go, a little bit. That's still wanting to come off. There we go. Nice and secure. Okay. So now, just going to take the soldered pieces here and bend them up very slightly. Now, we're going to take this piece, put it right here. Everything fits exactly where it's supposed to. Wow, super cool. Then take 2 CP screws, which we have seen. Get that put into place. And once again, just being careful. I'm applying pressure for sure, but there comes a point where you just know you've done enough. Okay. And we're getting the last screw in for the day. Alright, so I just want to make sure that I got all my screws separated out so I can separate them properly. And it looks like the impulse engine is complete with the internals. That actually gives it a cool little dimension inside. All right. So now I am going to plug this in to the board, and it's going to go into the smaller slots here, and I believe it's going to be E. And then let's bring back our battery. It gave me so much trouble in the very beginning. I think about this thing often and how it just slayed me for the build of it. They made it unnecessarily difficult. Oh, it's glowing red. Oh, I have that right there. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill my lights real fast. That is super satisfying. So there it is. All lit up. Everything that we've done over the last 2 weeks here, it's all right there. How cool. Like, that just looks really good. Like, it's not super strong. I was worried that it was gonna be super bright, but not the case. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this pointing up at the camera. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it dark. And as I say, thank you for watching. I also want to celebrate, and the thing that, you know, we're kind of, Matt and I are running into for the first time here is that one of our videos got 1,000 views for the first time. And, you know, I'm over here just blown away. I'm over here just making models and having fun and recording and learning how to YouTube and all of that. And you guys are actually enjoying the videos. And so I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep getting better. And, you know, like I said, looking at multi-camera, getting a couple different cameras in here so we can get some different angles, and looking to expand things out, you know, for bigger, wider views of what we're doing as we're going through and building this incredibly large model. But I do want to say thank you. I really appreciate the views. I appreciate the time that you guys spend with me as I'm going through and building this very expensive, ridiculous adult toy. And boy, adult toy. Words, we choose them, and sometimes they're not wise. But as we go through and build this ridiculously expensive and large model, I do want to thank you for your time. Appreciate the views. So if you have any comments, please leave them down below. I try to get to them and respond as much as I possibly can, as quickly as I can. And if you would like to support the channel, please subscribe. Please like the video. And until we see each other next time, which I'm not sure what that's going to be. I know that Fanhome has been a little delayed. This model was about a week late, and I'm hoping to stay on schedule now that I've completed all of these. You know, we're kind of in the wait and see mode. Obviously, I got the Venator going, and obviously we got some other things going on here where, you know, we got some content out, but when it comes to these next big models, it's kind of a wait and see mode. I do have an idea for you know, what to do in the interim. Show you some of the stuff that I've gotten from Fanhome and kind of review some of the magazines and all of that. But yeah, for these last couple weeks, I definitely want to say thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world wherever you happen to be. And until we see each other again, live long and prosper.